like I like the idea of them like waiting outside the stadium because they're trying to get in, like not in costume yet, so they just look like regular people. But also at the same time, when it comes down to the game and the actual sports event, you can have the separate like cutting where now they're on the field and having the same people having the same bark.
You're really showing the audience how much of sports fans we are when you said costume.
What is that? It's not a round. It's not a match. Each play because there's the four plays and then.
Really, I don't know this stuff already. I'm recalling. I feel like there's so many more.
I'm recalling football.
Are you talking about quarters?
Well, not
plays, like the quarters of the game.
It's not just the quarters. It's literally like down. There we go.
Oh,
there we go.
The actual. You're talking. Okay, I got you.
So. Carson, my friends.
Yeah.
We're gonna play a game called Guess That Sound.
Okay.
Now I want you to guess this sound.
All right.
Close your eyes and imagine a black motorcycle.
Okay. I'd like to solve the puzzle.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna guess?
Is it a black motorcycle?
So close. It is a motorcycle, but it's actually dark blue. It's like a navy.
Oh, so
navy blue.
I should have looked closer.
Yeah, I mean, for the most, I'll give it to you. I'll give you the points. I'll say it's correct. I'll say it's close enough. The colors are very close to each other.
It's a great segment.
Stupid.
It's an educational program. All right, I think I can solve the puzzle again.
Yep.
That time it was somebody making spaghetti, or like another kind of pasta. I feel like you're gonna get me on the type of the pasta.
How did you know it was spaghetti?
Yeah,
it was spaghetti. It was.
You sure it wasn't like?
Well, at first I was going for rigatoni, but I didn't have any in the cabinets. I only had regular spaghetti.
Yeah, I could tell from the sound.
And it didn't make any sense to use lasagna, so it's like I'm not gonna manually cut it up. That's too much.
You can do that. Yeah, you don't have to cut it up. You crack it up when you're putting it in. But I followed a recipe to do lasagna soup one time that had me do that.
Lasagna soup?
Yeah, and it had me break up the lasagna into little pieces. But it's honestly tough to get it into non-weird, like big, long, thin triangular shapes that you then have to break up into little tiny doesn't look like lasagna at all shapes in order to get it to be a manageable size.
I feel like it wouldn't crack easily.
Yeah, but somehow then somewhere, I don't even know where or what it was called, this is like the only time I've ever seen it. There's a different shape of pasta that my girlfriend found at the store. It was basically lasagna, like it had the ruffled edges, but little tiny pieces though. Like a little square, like the size of
like bite size, like a tiny
size
ravioli.
Yeah, maybe even smaller, like the size of like a baby shell, or no, the size of like a medium shell.
No way.
But it was like a little lasagna square, all rippled and everything. And then we used that the next time we did a lasagna, so it was incredible. It was like it was made insane. For that purpose. It was awesome.
That's insane. Okay, yeah, maybe I just haven't seen enough food items, but like...
No, I've never seen that before or after that one use case, though.
The remixes that humanity has made on corn, wheat...
Oh, yeah.
on like...
Do you know what is corn? Here's some examples. Cheetos. I mean, that's corn. That's mostly corn. We got it to do that.
It's insane what foods. Because I was like, it's crazy how like pretty much all foods are like corn, wheat, potatoes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Like the
that's
three main crops. You know.
That is the source.
Rice also.
Rice. Yeah.
It's I feel like we're not the experts on this, but that's probably the main four.
It's
like starches at least.
Crazy that like so much of pretty much everything we consume is just those four. If you had like
if you're on autopilot, you know, and then that's why there's a lot of that's why it's tough to be healthy when you're busy. You know what I mean? Because anything you're getting from a vending machine is gonna be like one of those four things. either dipped in chocolate or dipped in cheese. And
then
but you have to be like making stuff all the time to like
get like most of the healthy benefits of it.
Yeah.
No,
To be making sure you're getting enough like vegetables and stuff.
But imagine having
It's
like
tough out there.
all it takes is like a 15 by 15 square plot of land, dude. You know how much yield you can harvest.
Well, especially think of it this way. What if you're doing? Put it this way: corn is tall, so you're thinking of like a 15 by 15 square of corn. You could do that at your house, and like it's more than you and your family are gonna eat in a season.
Dude,
like that's a lot of corn for one family. Like
I mean, you could feed the whole block.
Space. But then also you could. It's healthier for the soil to do multiple crops at one time, and you could fit corn and then like potatoes in there because they're little.
Yeah,
right?
well,
and I don't know what's a give me a medium plant. What could go? What's medium height?
Here's the thing: you don't want to overplant in the same area because they're all going to be competing for the same nutrients.
You're right. You
However,
gotta crop rotate.
Yeah, you got to crop rotate, and you want to be able to like alternate your spaces. So realistically, let's say you have one line of corn coming up, and then to separate your next line of corn, you're planting potatoes in it, and that's going underground. So then you have corn, potatoes, like line by line. But when you're visually looking at it, it's like corn, and I can look at this side or this side.
Can I add a plant? Can I add a plant that I think we should be growing in this 15 by 15 square?
Hit me.
Sassafras. I want to do
sassafras. Yeah, we definitely got to have some kind of like
some sassafras.
Decorational herbs for sure.
Oh.
Sassafras. I throw some lemongrass in there too.
This should just be decorative.
Definitely gonna throw some lemongrass in there.
Low yield decorative plot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really what it is. Get some like hibiscus. That's yield. Actually start growing some lavender.
Lavender, hibiscus, chamomile. There's reasons for all of these things.
Literally, what you got to do is put that like around the outside, like a border stroke.
Oh yeah, the border is all. Well, the border should be like cactus and like dangerous, like to keep things out, right?
Plants,
protective plants.
Well, no. We don't need the plants to be protective. We can use but we have resources. We can just put up a fence. You know, like
nature's fence.
Yeah, but then
nature's barbed wire.
But then the cactus is gonna be there, also like messing up other plants.
What if we're also doing beekeeping nearby? right nearby the garden.
Ain't no way. We are also just actively okay.
Each corner of the garden has one. Is apiary the right term? Like one artificial beehive. So like. It's like, come on, rabbits and deer, do your best. Even if you get through the cactus,
the bees will get.
You better hope you don't get through the cactus.
How have we kept starting this podcast with like farm and soil related stuff that happened last time? On Radiated Planet. I don't know.
Specifically, we're doing.
It's something. I don't know.
You want to start the show?
You started off. I got some stuff.
All right. It's Content Factory. I'm Carson DeAngelis. Cactus farmer. Militant cactus farmer.
And, my name is Zave Davey. Student harvester of yield. Harvester of yield. I'm excited. We have yet another submission. A second submission came in.
Awesome.
It's real. It's true. This one comes from Ben Hur and Ben Dober.
Wait, did you say Ben Hur in Ben Dover?
No, and.
Oh, and Ben Dover.
Yeah, they're two separate people.
Two separate Bens. Ben Hur and Ben Dover.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are presumably real people.
Mm-hmm. And their response here is, small, quaint town deals with getting ravaged. Your call there. Every game day by their new Sportsball stadium. How long can these small town folk last before the camel's back finally breaks?
Hit me with it one more time.
Alright.
I got most of it. But it's how are they getting? It's
Small
it said ravaged, and then they did like an editorial call there.
Yeah,
really
in parentheses.
It put a lot of
That's
it in my
our
hands,
call.
and it made me scared for a second.
Small quaint town deals with getting ravaged every game day by their new Sportsball stadium. How long can these small town folk last before the camel's back finally breaks?
Oh right.
Small
So
quaint
what's happening
town
with this sports ball stadium?
So
Is
when
the stadium is the stadium ravaging the town? It said by the stadium.
small quaint town deals with getting ravaged
Uh-huh.
in whatever way that we choose. So that's how they're getting ravaged.
Vikings.
Yeah, small quaint town keeps getting ravaged by Vikings every game day by their new sports ball stadium.
Okay, so I'm taking it to mean near the
Yeah,
sports ball stadium.
that's
Not
me too.
Near the sports ball stadium.
by it,
People
like
coming
nearby
in and
it.
ravaging. Okay, so it's like a rival,
Yeah.
probably like the other city's
Yeah.
team.
How
There's, like,
long
militant
can
fans
these
coming over.
small town folk last before the camel's back finally breaks?
So
I want you to be able to read that word for word too, so you're not just like, I'm literally reading it the way it's typed.
every game day by their new sports ball stadium. It's a great suggestion. I'm really grateful for it.
I like this one. I feel like this is what I've been
really
waiting
good.
for.
It
This
is
is
really
what I've been
good.
waiting for.
Here's what it is. It's like
It's part of a challenge.
yeah, because it's like it's kind of a surreal, like it's a realistic
Like
story.
scenario,
It's just sitting
yeah.
in like a
Like
city
sitting
or
in
whatever.
the-
It's not.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're not doing like a hard sci-fi, but it's still like. It's not a fantastical scenario, but it's definitely. I feel like it's leading to some kind of surreal scenario. Like the question to me is when it says how long can they last until the camel breaks or the
Yeah.
camel's back breaks. Like what is the
Yeah.
camel's back breaking? Are we talking about like violence from this town's sports ball fans? Like literally, like we're tired of these people coming here and ravaging our town every time the game day comes, and they come and like break windows and stuff. We're and we start like a. It's like Braveheart. It's Braveheart, but for like football fans, it's Braveheart. But it's like,
Can we have this just be a sports movie? Can we do that?
I mean, yeah.
I feel like that would be a great way to convey this, because then you have the small quaint town, and like I like the idea of them like waiting outside the stadium because they're trying to get in, like not in costume yet, so they just look like regular people. But also at the same time, when it comes down to the game and the actual sports event, you can have the separate like cutting where now they're on the field and having the same people having the same bark.
You're really showing the audience how much of sports fans we are when you said costume.
I mean, I'm thinking it from a movie aspect, even if he's even if
that is literally a costume if you want to get
Like-
technical. So yeah, I mean, because then like your climax would probably take place both on and off the field, right? And it would be like, but everything on the field is like so much more exemplified of like the conflict between these two towns. Like that's where before if anyone is doing anything off the field, because like I like your idea. This should be just let's make this a sports movie. Like things should be settled like through the sport rather than through some crazy way. This could be a little bit more
because then you can have naturally with sports fans too, you can have the ability to yell and get angry and talk about the stats and do this, but keeping it civil. But when it comes to being like, no, like I would school you in the court in basketball, or like even in football, I'd get the touchdown or whatever. Like once you do have those people in that scenario on the field,
then that's the only thing that matters.
Exactly.
Is what's happening.
Exactly.
Right there.
Like they already talked the talk. Now you're letting them walk the walk.
Ball the ball.
Yeah, exactly. And in this scenario, it seems like you have like a small town of people rather than like just one character for the most part. Because now on this story, I'm kind of thinking of, I can't remember the exact movie title, but it's the one with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and
The Tooth Fairy.
No.
The Game Plan.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. It's Dwayne the Rock Johnson and the small girl from Disney Channel. Yeah, and he's playing football. But in that one, he's like the side conflict is like trying to deal with having a daughter and playing football. But in this town, it wouldn't just be one person. Yeah, it'd be a collective of people. You know, like
so
like multiple.
What you're saying is you do that whole. It's like half of it is. Like the team and the sport and his careers or whatever. The half is basically family in that movie. Like it's like having a daughter. Like but let's just replace the family thing with like community. Like it's about our town versus their town. So
exactly.
Instead of like these scenes being between practice and the dinner table, the scenes are between practice and like the town hall meeting, where everyone's like assembled.
Town hall, local park, like community event. Like
well, I mean there's a major, like, these people coming over here and throwing trash everywhere and breaking, like, literally damaging property, like, this other town's fans, and, like, no one's holding them accountable. So, yeah, like, there's this meeting. It's like, maybe this is, like, so you have, like, several families involved, right, to, like, kind of flesh out this town, and, like, to your, like, heads of household or whatever, so to speak, are your, kind of your protagonists. From these different families, but like they're all together in like a neighborhood watch or something like that. So like they're like you know, if no one else can stop, like we're gonna be out here stopping them.
Yeah.
So like they're starting a neighborhood watch, or it could just be like you know, not to make it like a religious thing, like church or something where everyone is like just there anyway and just can voice like their opinions to the rest of the people in town. Because I like the watch thing. It's just. It just wouldn't be everyone. You know what it should be? It should be something connected to the sport.
Yeah,
like all the parents of the players,
like PTA meeting, or like a high school like
it's either the
sit-in or something,
or the sport team itself. Yeah. The school is good.
You know what is good?
It should be a high school football team.
Yeah.
This isn't the NFL. This should be like a.
This is local sports.
This is local sports.
And something that I really want to exemplify is in the sentence of. How long until the camel backs breaks? I don't know if I worded that correctly, but
I don't think we're done on this episode, so let's just let it
happen. With that, I feel like this town probably is used to losing frequently, and like as long as their like other team is like civil or nice about it, they're just kind of like oh whatever. But for some reason now there's like a new like town that's within like the district that's playing that hasn't like been against these guys before, and maybe like just to add some Ric Flair in there, they beat them once.
Woo!
And that like kicks off the movie. So then everyone's like, oh man, this is cool. You know, it's our high school's first win in 13 years. That's crazy. Who would have guessed? New team. And then that team gets mad. They come back to play them again, and they're hyped, and then they lose, and they're like, back to it, you know. But then like
and
that
because of that loss, the other team like on their way out, they're like kicking over
and
stuff, and then they, you know, when they leave, they find out it's like someone at the meeting is like, my house got egged. It's like anyone who lived near the stadion's whole like everything just got wrecked on the way out. Like this is completely.
They just trashed our place for no reason.
It's like, and it's like, no one's holding them accountable. Like, we can't prove it was them, basically, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
So it's like, it's up to, it's all down to just winning the game, right?
Well, like, this is, I'm imagining, like, after a second game, like, later on. So, if that's the result of that, now the entire town has that reason for opposition, where they're like, oh, don't do that. That's not cool. We don't like when people do that. But yeah, I guess in terms of like a third match, if they go against each other, or if it's like, I don't know. I don't know.
We gotta. We need. I'm trying to figure out like the climax needs to be some kind of
like
a twist or something. Like I feel like we could be working towards like we need to win a game so that we can trash their town.
Yeah,
but then like
an away game.
The truth is we don't trash it. We decide to we win, and then we just leave and make them feel like assholes. And then they stop doing it.
Yeah, they understand. They're like, wait a minute.
What if the beginning there's like a prologue, and it's like the main character, like the kids, like the main character should be the kids at this point, I think, right? Not the parents. It should be like mostly about the kids. And you have both the A and the B.
Wait, hear me out.
What's that?
Hear me out on a prologue idea.
Okay.
The story of the history of how that school has continued to lose is told from a child's perspective. And you're hearing that from a child, saying they're lost, like the school was winning all the time, they were cool, and then at some point they just lost, all the way until they got through high school and everything, lost, they're done. This is now one of the coaches at the school who's like, at my day, I was a golden star. I was amazing.
This is good, yeah. I was going to say something like that, but I was going to make it about, I was just going to say one of the players' dads. It should be one of the players' dads who is the coach.
Ooh, yeah.
Make it being the coach because he is, basically represents the team, so to speak. And he's like the one let's go right there now. Like they've been doing this since I was your kid's age.
Yeah.
They've been ruining our town every year. Let's go get them. But then the kids have to be the ones like, no. Like, it's up to us to stop this now. So like that's
we gotta break the cycle.
Yeah. So in the prologue, that's what I was hoping. Like you have it be like 20 years ago. It's the main character's dad's
flashback.
Team. And
back in the 80s.
And they're crushing the other town. And they're basically doing the same thing, but maybe it's like not as bad, they think, or whatever. But like, we just had some fun back then. They're basically just going over there and throwing trash around and partying and stuff. But they're like, we were just celebrating. It's fine. They, like the 1 year they started losing though, like they finally lost, and then every year that town would come over and do the same thing to them. So that's why you have like these dads, like the parents and the coach, are all on this like vengeance quest that the kids don't necessarily subscribe to.
Yeah.
Oh, and then that's great because then like the kids are aligned with their town and their parents in the beginning, but then for like the second half of the movie, it's like them against their parents, trying not to be like, now we won the game, but like now we're trying to win the fight of we don't want to trash the other town, and they want us to.
We need to take the high road. Like,
and
finally
it's the conflict between them and their parents, who have basically it's been it's all been about
no, we keep taking this road so that
the other team, like, those were the bad guys the whole time.
We need to trash them. It's our duty to do this. And they're like,
and when they're finally in the position to do it, then they realize like, wait, this isn't what we want, and then they don't do it. And
you gotta have those kids be like, this doesn't feel like. I hated when I had to clean up eggs from my car.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what do you mean I gotta egg this guy's car? Yeah, like, sure, they suck, but like, this isn't necessary.
And then like from then on, nobody ever like, regardless of who was winning and losing, no one was ravaging the other town anymore. It's like the epilogue, so like that's your happily ever after. It's like they completed the cycle of hate. It's done.
They fixed it. Oh man.
Yeah, you can do like a 20 years later. Have like the main character's son lose a game, and he gets like knocked over, but then like the other team, like he's like pulls out a hand, like it's alright, chap. Like
picks him up,
and like they all just leave. It's like fine, like see you guys next game.
Like after the game's over, they go out.
Movie.
After the game's done, they go out and have pizza together, like with the losing team. Like they're just like, what's happening? Like, sure, we played some football, but what's really happening, fellas? Like, oh man. Yeah, I think that's the fastest.
Get to know each other beyond ourselves.
I mean, do you want to put in some details on him?
We're missing some of the beginning and middle, but this is I feel like we at least broke the ending of that really quick. Like now that we know where we're going.
That was like a speed run.
It really was. Man, maybe that's just the power of genre for you, though. I mean, we decided to do a sports movie and like kind of knew what we were doing for that. It's still. This is a different kind of a sports movie.
The town v town.
Yeah.
But they're like.
Well, maybe not. Maybe that's like a lot of local sports movies.
But like town v parents as well.
Yeah.
Like the youngsters versus the traditional.
Oh
like
wait,
new age
you know what I
versus
just
traditional.
thought? The second game, they don't lose the second. Remember, you're saying like this first game, like they win, and the lake's kind of like, or maybe it's that one then.
like they don't even win the first. Because remember, like that's got to be the whole thing they're working up to. Because like if they win a game in the beginning, then like they would have to do the climax there. So what if the first one, it's like the first time in years that they've tied? And it's just like everyone's basically infuriated
everyone's
at that
freaking
point.
out.
Everyone's freaking out because it's the first time they've ever tied.
Yeah, they're like, we deserve a win. That counts as not an L.
Yeah,
and they're
then, like the other
team's like, we don't want this on our record.
Like, this does not count as a loss. Like
this doesn't
we basically
count.
won. Like you guys shouldn't have tied with us. And everyone's just pissed off at this point. The tension is so high.
Oh, that is so good.
Because no one's happy. Like no one won. Like they're both thinking of it as a loss at that point.
That double reinforces the second fight. So would they still lose in that one then?
I think so because our main characters are for two reasons. One is it increases the conflict between the players and like the coach and the parents because they weren't taking it seriously enough. But I also think that's the reason is like the team that's been winning for years. They're so afraid of losing, like that when they get this tie, they like really kick it up. Like you could even show like their training. All of a sudden, they're all doing push-ups with cinder blocks and like doing all these like playing football underwater, like in Shanghai soccer, and doing all these crazy things. But our kids, like our characters, are just kind of like, "Hey, cool, we tied!" Like, and they're like feeling proud.
Yeah,
they're kind of like
nice.
resting on their laurels a little bit.
Yeah,
so that's why they lose the second one because they're getting a little confident, but the other team's getting scared instead. So they're kicking it up into
that tie really reinforces like sitting on the fence, and you can even have that play into the mentality of both of the characters too. Like essentially seeing it as like glass half full, glass half empty. Because those who are like, oh, this tie is considered a loss for us, then take that stress onto them and ends up making them perform worse and ultimately makes them lose in a latter game. Compared to the new age kids who are like, oh, we tied. Like, that's not an L. Like, we're moving. We're making progress. This is good. And, you know, that ends up reinforcing, like, actually climbing the steps to success.
Yeah, right. And that could come in... You know, that could be like a speech or whatever going into the final, like the third game. It's like, listen, guys, we didn't get that tie because we didn't deserve it. Like, we can totally, like that comes back into like we can win this because
we were able
the first
to
people of our town to even do that since our parents. So,
like,
so that, I think a tie is just such a really like interpretable result, and that's why it works so well.
Yeah, it's such a like
it's whatever you need it to be for different characters. Whereas I think it works really flexibly.
It fits the genre so well too, because would feel like the kind of thing to happen in the most important sports game of our generation.
Which is Sportsball, right? Is that what this is about?
Yeah, it's about Sportsball.
It can be football, right? Should it be? I think
it could be any.
Or should we make it a fake sport and call it Sportsball?
It can be football, just to make it easier to comprehend, but at the same time, we have some time.
Market size.
We have time. We could come up with a sport.
I think I see. I'm looking at our time reading right now, and I think I see where you're going.
We could come up with a sport.
I mean, we got to do anything to fill our time slot at this point. We rented the studio for 90 minutes. We got to use them.
We could do a short episode if you want.
Seems weird to have that in the mix with the others, dude. Are we gonna have like variously different
Kit Kat mini amongst our like bag of full size candy?
Yeah. It's a Trick or Treat is Content Factory. It's Content Factory, the show where you get what you get. That's our next one. Whenever we update our motto, that's what it's gonna be. The show where you get what you get.
Why'd the bars get so small on this thing, man?
Holy moly!
They don't even have ads anymore. Nah.
All right. We're still we gotta do characters.
Right? Yeah. Right.
A lot of times we skip over the characters.
Yeah. what can you write like the progression like bullet points?
Yeah. I think I'm sitting on my suitcase right now. Perfect. I just looked around for it. I was like, where is it? Oh, I got one. I've become a professional.
I got that G2 blue.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's
Dude, it's a good pen.
That's nothing, dog. I have
What
a.
do you mean?
I mean that's nothing, dog.
What, are you gonna pull out the
I got
G2
this for
turquoise?
Christmas. I got a zebra Sarasa fine liner.
What?
Yeah, look at that. Isn't that sleek? Look at the like.
Oh my goodness.
The handle.
For the
That
audience, I can't even describe this thing. It looks like a pen.
But pretty
But
good.
it's insane though. It really like the pocket holder part is like rainbow and then flat. Not like rainbow color, but like arched and then flat. Comes out. It's very thick and bold. Even when you take the
I think you're the first person to use rainbow as a shape. Like,
well, like arch. I don't know. I'm thinking like Photoshop. It's the visuals they have there.
okay.
You uncap the pen here, and it's got a nice royal blue. But then you can also see like the black part where the name is, the zebra Sarasa font. That is nice. And then from that part, it kind of like goes into another blue arch. But that's like, oh man, that is sweet. Okay, yeah, that is sweet.
Just trying to get the cap back on there with one hand. Hold the microphone.
I gotta get another mic stand.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of break this down into. I feel like we have like such a good idea of the structure because it's broken up by game.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna write real quick. I'm gonna write prologue. I'm gonna write.
Cause yeah, if we do like a prologue, the 3 games, an epilogue, that's kind of like a 5-act.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, that gives us. That's kind of perfectly.
Yeah, that like fits pretty well.
I think we just kind of naturally fell into it.
Ooh, that's a good pocket to fall into. Oh man, yeah, I'm excited for this.
All right, game 3 is the one where they finally win, right? And we have something to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe like an epilogue, but
Game 2 is gotta be like the scenes leading up to the actual game where you have like the community there, like not only practice and like trying to do stuff, but also like genuine like community events, like going out to eat or something, where they are just like drunk off soda and all sitting around each other like, we're gonna dominate them. We got this. We tied last time.
We're finally coming back. So they're overconfident. Heck.
Yeah.
And then once you I like that once you get into the game, and the first play actually starts, instantly, everyone can tell what's happening here. It's like someone snaps their fingers and our whole team's on the ground. And like immediately. Like it's just and it's like, okay, this is gonna be our afternoon. He's gonna be watching this happen over and over again.
Man, I gotta
completely destroy.
I wanna figure out if there's like a royalty free NFL theme to use, because I'm just imagining like putting this out and like actually producing this. I already love the NFL theme, but how funny it is to have that.
It's something legally just sit there,
to have that kick off. You've got the teams lining up, and the hike, and then like the music cuts early because the dude gets tackled and he's just like, oh.
Yeah, they're all just getting like a hurt.
Well, not like seriously, not.
No, it doesn't have to be that kind of a movie.
Yeah,
there's cartoon violence.
Yeah, all cartoon. Yeah, it's all like
mild violence,
like bruises, and that's it. Where they're
honestly, it'd be kind of weird if we added bruises. Because that's like after, like, for the rest of the movie, a character. I guess we could, like, Could do that like after a game. Yeah, I mean that. On a serious note, that could make
or break somebody.
Well, it just also like makes
real.
It makes you remember the stakes, like why that character cares so much about winning the third game. It's because they got their face all bruised up in the second game. Yeah,
their cheek. I don't know.
I guess I don't know. Your face has got a mask on. We're so bad at sports. We're so bad.
No,
at
you're
this.
right. They're not gonna see that much.
We play a lot of video games. The two of us. Not Madden. If there was like a Mario football, we'd probably be in better hands right now. But
see,
like soccer,
why do they have to do Mario XComs, dude? Like, why couldn't they do?
They literally did Mario XCOM with Rabbids before they did Mario Football.
There was like a NFL game on the Wii that I played back in the. It was like the mini dudes. I can't remember what it was. It was like NFL Blitz.
Do you mean Mii's, like the Wii characters?
It wasn't Mii's necessarily. No. I think some of them could be in place, but for the most part, it was just like they weren't NFL players. They were just like smaller Mii-esque characters.
Okay.
Oh man, that one was good.
Did that teach you a lot about football? Is it helping you today with this movie?
It's making me think about football.
You know what? I'm looking at our outline right now.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, something we didn't really answer. Why do they tie in the first game? Like, why don't they just lose again? What's different about that than the last 20 years since?
What's different? Maybe
something about our main characters. I would think.
Yeah,
right?
something about our town. Our main
something
characters.
about they have something that they're.
Yeah, they're just goated with the sauce.
They're just goated with the sauce.
Yeah, they've got unlimited riz. Genuinely, what it is, I feel like, is that these characters just have like, I don't know, charisma and indifference.
You know what I think it is?
Seeing the traits.
That's like, where we want them to be in game 3. When they win, we want them to be there, like where they have like a right, because they, along with like their empathy and their reasoning to not do that. So I think in the beginning we want them to be in like an opposite state. From
okay,
that.
I think I got it.
The coach's son is our protagonist, and he's all like hell bent on vengeance.
Yeah,
and that's what gets them to the tie in the first. Is his like rage essentially? It's like what he's bringing to it.
Not just that, he can be hell bent on vengeance, and maybe that's something that's always been there, and that has been like standard and still having losses. But there's a new kid in town now, and that
so there's somebody that doesn't have it.
Yeah, there's someone who's
nailing this right now.
Completely abstract from the concept of town this, town that, any of the like vengeance. And when they come in, they're like why is everyone like, they're genuinely confused. They're like, why do we have this vengeance against them? Like, what actually happened? And then you have the main character,
it, and it's like,
explain it.
Your dad's? Like, why are you doing this?
So why are you fighting this war for
like,
your
shut
parents?
up, this is important. Like, this is part of the culture.
Right? They're all like trying to like shun this new kid just because he's like, guys, I don't think you realize that this fight is meaningless.
It's crazy. To
it's
an outsider.
Stupid.
So we got this new kid as like your buddy character. Maybe that's even the protagonist. Honestly, that might be a good main character. He's like an outsider from the whole what do we call it? Like vengeance thing, or I'm gonna call it feud.
That is a feud, dude.
So what is so he? I think somehow this new kid is the reason they tie in the first one.
Yeah, most definitely.
But something having to, like, maybe he's like he's the only one who's not playing super aggressively. Like, have they just all been real aggro for every game for years?
I think that's what it is. It's got to be like, it's got to be something as sly as him not being immediately aggressive and looking like a threat. It enables him to sneak past people while he has the ball and
and honestly,
at least do something.
It makes sense. It's not that weird to think like the whole team would be playing this way. Remember who the coach is, right?
Yeah.
Like if the coach is our dad from the prologue, right? So he's been basically brainwashing all of the players too. Like,
that's
so
been his main job.
And his whole, like, all of his speeches. I mean, you could even show this before game 1. It's like, you know, push through them, kill them, be a battle axe out there. Like, do not relent. Like, and keep moving forward. And then this new kid is the only person that's not like driven by this.
He's like, I just like football. Dude.
Yeah, he's like, I just got here. I'm having fun. He's like, this isn't war to me. This isn't about my family name. Like, this isn't about the honor of my community to me, which is what everyone else is up to here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. That would help, having that outside position. Because then he can have the mindset of just enjoying the sport for the sport. Right, and
then that's kind of the theme of the movie is like that's what they're trying to. That's at the end. That's what they're like. No, we just won. Like we're glad we won. Yeah, let's go home.
Even to the point where like, let's say another climax, maybe not on the field in the game, but within the community, is somebody realizing that they don't actually like football. They've been playing this whole time
for the wrong reason.
Yeah, for the wrong just because dad's been making me or like.
The character who's like who should go and become a chef or an artist, like,
like
but
somebody
like,
who
no, it's just a hobby. I love football. Like
exactly,
this is my
like,
life.
And then you have that like second point, and imagine that's like a high scoring person on the team or like good performer. That's just funny because then you have that juxtaposition where they're like, oh cool, the new kid came in, instilled this new mentality on everyone that they don't need to be aggressive about the game and actually try to win, and then that somehow convinced our best performer to leave. Like, thanks a lot. Now we're gonna lose even more. And then
like, all the parents are like, what are you doing? Like, why would you you sabotaged everything? But all the kids are like, no, you guys aren't getting this.
And that really flips them over to like actually learning about it and getting better. I can't tell if that's game 2 or 3, but that's like one of those like. They start to see it different. Like maybe that should
be game 3. I think because they win the big game, right? And so they're like, this like you're all gonna be offered scholarships now. But then that one character's like, I'm not gonna. He's like, I'm gonna go to culinary school, and everyone's like, thanks a lot, new kid. Look, you ruined like, now my son's sports career that I was basically so excited for. He's gonna throw that away and
become a chef.
Like he's probably doesn't even have a chance. I've never seen him cook anything. But yeah, like you have someone, and again you have the parents arguing with the parents of the other team, and all these adults are like literally like about to fight, and then someone's like, hey, look. And this is your epilogue. And they look over like at the kids from both teams, and they're just like hanging out and having a good time.
Just chilling.
They're
by the like snack stands.
Yeah, they're just eating snacks and stuff and having fun. And then all the parents, that's when they're like, "What are we doing?" And like that's like your ending.
Can we do the cheesy trope of like a jump and mid screen like freeze?
The freeze frame.
The freeze frame. You've got that like
the quarterbacks from both teams.
They're like, oh, bring it in.
Oh, it's a chest bump. Yeah, it's a chest bump freeze frame.
Freeze frame with the like, I don't know, crazy music in the back. That
chest bump.
You've got the touch.
You got the
touch. Oh man, that's good.
Yeah, and then finally at the end, the parents even are on board, and they're like the last ones, obviously, to put aside this this dumb view.
They're the last people because they end up looking at it and they're like, "Wait a minute, is like we're the only soldiers left in this battle." And we're all tired. Like, come on,
Yeah, like we're all getting too old, and our kids aren't gonna do it for us.
The whole reason why we sent our kids out is because we're too old for this. Now that we're the last soldiers, like, what are we even fighting for anymore? Like, we got some crazy youngsters out there. They're kicking it.
Yeah, they just make friends with the other team, and honestly, like. The kids from the other town would even be like, man, we have been doing like playing so hard to win. The reason we've been so intense about this ever since you guys got the ties, because we always thought if you guys ever won, you would come and do that here. So we had to do it. And it's like, that's how war works in real life.
That's such a crazy misunderstanding, but that's so genuine too.
Yeah, like that's like they're like, now that you guys won and didn't do it, like, yeah, we'll gladly stop.
Yeah,
like,
we're all cool.
Now we're all cool. We thought you guys were in on this, frankly.
Yeah,
we kind of thought you guys were part of it too.
We thought that this was just,
and that's like your climax is not just that they win, but it's them not doing it, and that's like the decision
they
that
break
the
the
kids
cycle.
make. And then they're all like, "Thanks, new kid," even though the parents are like,
"Thanks, new kid." This new kid's like, "Where's my scholarship?"
And then he looks at the camera and shrugs, and it freeze frames. It's him shrugging.
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh wait, and then as we're rolling credits, you know, it's one of those movies where as you're rolling credits, it's like, you know, this character opened a franchise, and all of those are little clips that end in freeze frames.
Yeah,
like one of the kids that was on the team, he's just, you see him like running his restaurant. He's like a chef, and then he puts his knife away, like wipes the sweat off his brow, and then jumps up and with a fist in the air and freeze frames. And then you see like the other kids doing things at their colleges and stuff. They all do like a freeze frame pose.
No, that'd be funny. That's funny.
That would be a great way to wrap this up. And one of them should be, I feel like we don't need to name like we don't need like, the characters are mostly going to be from our hometown. We don't need like equally as many from the other town. But like one character should be like the star player of the enemy team, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Like the captain.
I don't know what we do with that, but yeah, we do something with the yeah, exactly. And, I don't know. That scene, I feel like that has to be in there. Because, and that's probably the person, I think they're just there basically as a representative of that team. Like, I know they're in the script, and I think they're the person who speaks for the other town, kind of. Like, that speech I was saying before about how we thought you guys we were doing this because we thought we had to do this to protect our town. But you guys now won and are not doing this, so awkward. That could be that character who's like, it's like he's like a bully and like they're like enemies the whole time. Like he's like your antagonist, but then they become friends at the end.
He's just like, hey man, I was only just doing what I was told.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, people, and they're like, same dog. Like,
right? Like, it's crazy. What did they get us up in? And
the parents are like, you know what?
Similar, like,
the parents are like, we're so glad you guys are getting along. And he's like, and it's like that kid's parents and like the main character's parents are like, you know what? We're actually gonna go over and get coffee and like talk because we've never actually talked before or whatever.
Yeah.
And they go away and it's like, man, this is great. And then
find out that they're cool people.
But then that enemy quarterback, like the bully who just became their friend, is like, you guys want to try drugs? And it's like that could be the end. Like, I don't know, just like as a little joke. Yeah, just a little twist. Anything.
Just a little twist. Just a little zest at the end.
Just like right as the parents leave them unattended. Like, you know what? We were wrong to judge.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Because then that's just enough where it's like, you already watched the whole movie. You enjoyed the ride up until thus far.
Yeah, you got the theme. If that point, do this. Now it's just like, for free.
You've already rode the entire roller coaster. At this point, we can just stop the tracks. We can just let the coaster just run off the tracks at this point. Like it's like simulation's done.
It's like how the best roller coasters just crash right into the station at the end.
Yeah,
of, like having brakes.
Yeah, just like that.
You know what? I'm sorry. That was an incorrect analogy. It's like a log flume. That's a beautiful. It's doing exactly. This is more like a log flume. It's crashing, but that's part of the trip. That's part of the trip.
It is part of it. That is true. That really is it.
Yeah. Okay. So he's a big bully in a serious note. That like we think he's a big bully, but yeah. Then they have like we were both just listening to our parents, and then like they stop fighting each other at the end. After game 3 in script terms.
Yeah, after game 3, dude. I love. Man, game 3.
And then like The only thing I feel like we didn't flesh out is like the first game and the prologue. So in the prologue, just to reiterate, is like the dads of our main characters are...
They're like superstars
They're,
in their day.
The dads are superstars, and
They're
they lose
amazing.
their first game,
Yeah.
and that's what starts this.
Yeah, and that's what starts this,
I should say, they're superstars who overly celebrate.
Yeah.
Because that was the important
They're
part. too.
overly confident, and that, like, ends up ruining them.
They over celebrate. Yeah, and so both of these towns are just it's like don't punish the child for the sins of the parent or whatever,
Yeah.
right? It's like
Yeah.
that's kind of what this is. Once they lose their first game, it starts a war for their children to. Well, no, it's not that because they lost their first game though. It's because they're just bad sports. That's really why this started.
What we really need to figure out, if anything, is what is that twist and what caused them to lose the game, like in the prologue. Like,
Could be the coach, or who is the coach in the rest of the movie. That dad, just like got an injury, and that's why he's so, like, that's
Like-
why he's the coach. Like rather than any other one of the dads, like
I see.
his whole life is
football. This
Yeah,
guy,
is-
like, he's
is
like, I've
vengeance.
wanted to keep playing, but I can't. Like,
It's not even that. It's just like he's like I will forever have.
yeah, like,
Well, I guess you're right. Yeah, like he's like I couldn't
Yeah,
continue
like-
my career, get scholarships or anything like that because of
Like,
my injury.
after
I'm just gonna dedicate my life to taking down the other team. That it's not even the same people now. It's their kids. Like it's
Yeah.
messed up that he's doing this.
Yeah.
Really messed up.
Yeah.
But like that's why he's so cranky.
that's
That
the
he probably
character.
got injured. I think. Yeah, that's the character for you.
And that really drives the story, because then that's like that singular seed that's planted ends up being a town feud. And when you think about it, that pretty much is like a lot of sports. If we could just literally plug in any town name for
Which
both
we
sides,
won't.
towns. Yeah, we
We
won't.
specifically won't do that for this movie.
I
That's
know.
what I wanted to say before.
I know. We could. We could. We
make
won't.
this about two real teams, and it would seem realistic.
Yeah, well, not only about two real teams, but obviously we're gonna use two fake names for fake names, fake towns,
Oh yeah.
so that the people who are watching this essentially can connect their local town rivalry
Do it in
to
their head.
So instead of it being like, oh, this is just like, I don't know, like Green Bay Packers and the 49ers. Like, neither of them are my team, like, I don't really care. Like, but if it's just like, I don't know, local town schnitzels and other local town ding dongs, like,
Yeah, then it's like you don't
where
have
it's like, oh, that reminds me
a preconceived
yeah.
notion going into it.
That reminds me of my town.
You want to go down the pipe?
Oh, dude,
We should probably go down the pipe.
We
I
should-
think
we
they're
should
looking for
slide
us down there.
dude, I've been hearing them calling.
Let's
All right.
let's step into that pipe. You want to go first?
Yeah, I'm going in belly first.
What? Ah!
Oh, we made it.
We fell down the pipes,
Why did the pipes bring us to a dark cave?
and they keep putting in more spikes.
It gets
Every
more
time.
and more dangerous.
Every
going
time we
down
go
this
down
pipe.
the pipe.
It's so difficult.
But we have to get here.
We're in a cave
our
now,
ads.
and I'm looking at the stalactites and stalagmites, and betwixt them, I see a cave wall, and there's a drawing of. Is that Lungo? What? Why does it have a link next to it?
What do you want? Hang on, I'm gonna.
You seeing this?
Yeah, I'm gonna touch the link. Let me just. Whoa, the whole wall changed.
I can't. This is. What is this pipe, dude? They got us on some.
We came over to the. We were in a
Yeah.
game. Okay, so to recap our ads so far to the audience, we found out some pipes. We're in a cave. We went over to the wall and we clicked on a link. There was a link on the cave writing. It said buy.lsd.
It said
We came over to. I'm just gonna run it again.
.onl.
Yeah, buy.lsd.onl.
Honestly, I was confused as to why that was on the
online
wall. Yeah, and this is a clickable link, and it just opened up.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to open up. That was mind blowing.
Should we talk about
what is on this page that just opened up?
Yeah, what's on? Yeah, we've just been keeping it to ourselves. For a while.
I mean, there's these.
I guess it's not really.
There's these two fellas, and they have this podcast where they create narrative development shows. I hear you can get that early.
Do they use that skill for the ad section?
I maybe.
People wish they did.
There's also exclusive interviews from our correspondent Ronnie. There's fantastic imagery,
exclusive content.
Early,
is that all I get?
Early podcast.
Oh, and early podcasts?
Yeah, and your name in all of the future Leaving Someday videos. That's big. People don't realize that's a big one.
Yeah, and if we ever win an Oscar, we'll just read
our Patreon list.
That will be our whole speech.
Yeah, that it will. I'll just sit there and be like, Brank 420.
Well, you could
Zappa.
start with like, yeah, exactly. You could start with, I would like to thank, and then just list these.
I would like to thank,
and then just go down the list.
Brank 420 Zappa and Dr. Corby.
And then just keep going.
If you'd like to be on this list when we win an Oscar,
yeah,
the next time I win an award, why not? It could be any award,
even like something at work.
Yeah, pretty mundane.
Just read it to your coworkers.
I'd like.
You'll get that kind of exposure if you're on. If you got win an award at work, we'll read Patreon list to our coworkers. For legal reasons, I should add that we may or may not actually do that. No, but the Oscar thing is
the Oscar. Yeah, the Oscar thing, that's actually real.
Yeah, if we can like steal like some kind of podcasting award from an actually good show.
What if we create our own award show? No. That's like gerrymandering.
We might have to. We'll come up with that next week on content.
So to reiterate, if you'd like to see behind the wall, behind the screen, go ahead and type in buy.lsd.onl.
I can't tell you how much I like browser. Behind the wall as a like cave version of behind the scenes. If you like to see behind the walls of this show.
I mean, I'm sure they got some kind of crazy strings being pulled on this, because we touched a link on a cave wall and it opened up. That is... like, what kind of cave did we drop into, dude? It's insane. The kind of cave that you can only get at buy.lsd.onl.
And furthermore, contact us if you'd like to advertise on this show.
There's an email. You can contact at leavingsomeday.com. Literally contact. The email is contact.
Yeah, no, that wasn't part of. That was part of the email when he said that. Contact at leavingsomeday.com.
Or if you specifically want to send one to me, Zave at leavingsomeday.com. Well,
time to climb back up the pipes, I think, right? This part's always so much worse.
Dude, it is. It's like American Ninja Warrior. I keep failing the first couple steps, and I fall into the pool, and they let me try again, but I'm all wet and cold.
No, you
have
to try again. Yeah, exactly, it's terrible.
Because it's like, I'm trying.
And like to the listeners, it's just a couple of seconds, but we're in there sometimes for weeks.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. All right.
All right. Let's do this. Up the pipes.
Go! Oi. Oi, oi! Ozzy, Ozzy, Ozzy! Ozzy, Ozzy, Ozzy!
Is there a response? I don't know what to say back to that.
You're supposed to say oi, oi, oi.
Oh, oi, oi, oi.
Ozzy, Ozzy, Ozzy!
Oi, oi, oi.
Alright, it's football time.
Let's go. It's Content Factory, the show where it gets made.
Factory.
I'm Carson DeAngelis. Quarterback. I couldn't think of anything. I couldn't
Quarterback
think of a
with
good
the
nickname.
sack, man. You couldn't hit quarterback with the sack.
Quarterback like the sack. I don't know. I don't know any football terms. That's my problem.
A sack. That's good.
Okay.
That's good. That's a good football term.
Okay. Quarterback with a sack. That's what quarterback with a sack. Okay, that's my nickname.
Yeah, you just made a sack, dude. That's good.
Okay. Okay. Cool. I made a sack.
Content Factory. My name is Zave Davey. Let me be, linebacker with the sauce like gravy. Okay.
You see what I mean? It's not easy.
Well, I hit it. I still hit it.
Yeah. I guess you're a little better at sports than me. That means.
I don't know, man. It's that Eric effect. I don't remember who we discussed that with.
What is the Eric effect? I don't think you discussed it with me.
It's kind of like Charlie from Always Sunny, where he's just kind of like naturally good at any sport he tries.
Okay.
And it's not like he's like amazing, but he's still like, he's good.
You're talking about our friend Eric, yes?
Yes, both our friend Eric and Charlie. Why am I blanking on his name? Like Charlie Day.
Charlie Day.
Yeah, Charlie Day. There we go.
Or Charlie Kelly in the fiction.
Yeah, in the fiction, Charlie Day is the real person.
That's the real man.
From what I'm hearing about him, apparently, yeah, he's the same way. He's just like, they're just built different, man. I don't know.
Just built different.
I don't know.
Just naturally good at
right?
everything.
It's
tough being
I
perfect.
feel like if we were to have Eric play cricket for the first time ever, like against someone else playing cricket for the first time ever, so it's like a
it
fair.
would be like not even close, is what you're saying.
It would. I feel like he would win. Crazy. That notification was him posting. he's hearing it.
He can hear when we're
Okay.
I feel like the only other than trying to hard script this movie, I feel like if we want to add more details, I want to focus on. I've actually got 4 characters written down here, not super developed, but let's do something with these 4 characters.
Give some character, because I feel like this could leave way for a Breakfast Club effect, where you kind of have a couple of different personality types, so you can have who you subscribe to, or you're for the BuzzFeed quiz to figure out which one of these you are,
Yeah, and a good way to do that also is we gotta get we've got to get all these characters in conflict by. I think I know how to start. I think 2 of them, meaning the coach and the enemy team's quarterback, they both are in support of vengeance, basically. But I don't know, because that was also how we want the main kid, our protagonist, to be vengeance based, though.
I mean, there's no reason why they can't both be, because the real turning twist is the new guy, right?
Yeah.
Both of their vengeance, maybe you can have
yeah. I'm just saying, I want one character to share the new kid who's not about vengeance and is more about empathy and just having fun in the game. And well, that's really what it's more about. It's just being a good sport. That's kind of the theme.
Sportsmanship, man.
Yeah, just having fun.
It's so important.
Someone wins and someone loses, but everyone played football.
Exactly.
And I need one other character to share that with him. And maybe that, I think, actually is the enemy. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's the other team's quarterback. And because that's how they get to him at the end. Is when they realize he was never really about this either.
And maybe that
He's
can
I've
also
just been gaming. They want me to work so hard. They make this all about it's so important. I'm just here to play football. I don't want to keep worrying about winning and losing against you guys.
It does help for that character to be the quarterback, or at least one of the captains there, because then that gives them a reason to be oh yeah, I helped at least helped the team, even if they're aggressive. It's I helped them get organized to be able to play it like it's Madden and not like it's
he's just exactly
NFL.
Right. He's exactly. He's the quarterback because he just has a love of the game. He wants it to be played right. So he's not even really about. You could maybe even show that in the earlier acts. like after the game where they lose, or maybe after the game where they tie, they almost go completely crazy and destroy things 10 times worse, right? Because we know that everyone hated the tie, but he probably like stops them. He's the one like he's not really about it. He's just trying to stop them from doing that, maybe, or maybe he's not trying to stop them because like, but he's not gonna do it. I think after game 2 where we lose and our town gets trashed again, we see him sit that out. He's like, I'm not gonna throw eggs with the rest of you guys. And like that, he's trying to set that example, and then that's like kind of plants that for game 3 that comes through, and he actually it comes to fruition with he's like, great, yeah, now I can finally get my friends to stop doing this.
Finally.
So yeah, I think the new kid and the enemy quarterback are both like they're just like let's just have fun. Mm-hmm. Whereas the coach and his son are both like, no, this is war in the beginning in the movie.
I feel like the audience shouldn't be given access to the enemy team quarterback.
No, not right away.
Yeah.
No.
Or even halfway through, if they're given the access to scenes with him, it's got to be scenes where he's just like hyping people up, not necessarily where he's just like, oh yeah, the game's not that serious. Like by all means,
he doesn't have to say it's not that serious, but he's still there for the fun of the game. He's just showing his level of football, but there's no reason. As the audience, it's like he might be a villain, and it's like he's being portrayed that way.
It feels
we don't see him
enough
specifically. Yeah, it's just ambiguous.
Like, well, Thank you. Still being like a quarterback, that's an essential position where he's kind of like you're telling the people where to go. You're calling the play for each, like what is that? It's not a round. It's not a each play because there's the four plays, and then
really, I don't know this stuff already. I'm
recalling.
I feel like there's so many more.
I'm recalling football.
Are you talking about quarters? Not plays, like the quarters of the game.
It's not just the quarters. It's literally like down. There we go.
Oh,
there we go.
The actual. You're talking. Okay, I got you.
No, not just the yardage, because it's like essentially it's like first down is like let's say the team has just gotten the ball right now. They start off like they kick it, the dude grabs it, and they're trying to get all the way to the end. Wherever they get tackled, now that's their first spot. From there, that's first down, right? Like the first down. If they don't get all the way to the end by the fourth down, then it's the other team. It's their turn to go and kick it.
Okay, I got you.
So there's no fifth down. So when it's fourth down, for the most part, that's like them pretty close to the end goal. So it could be one of those things where it's like, the quarterback in that situation is like, hey, it's deep. We're in like third, fourth down. Like you guys got to go here. You gotta do that. Where from the audience perspective, it seems like it could be aggressive because he's kind of just like.
Tense. Oh yeah, but he's just you're right. He's just in the game.
Yeah. Once you actually hear his words, he's like, well, no, yeah, I'm just like.
He's not aggressive. He's just serious.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm in the game, dude.
He's trying to win. But that's the game to him. Yeah, right, but it's like you see him being like a leader, and he's like barking orders and stuff. So he still kind of looks
like ominous.
Yeah, we could show him. We could make him look the wrong way in the beginning.
Yeah,
that's fun. I like that. That's good.
But then really what it is, it's him being a good sport afterwards, like after the loss, where he's just kind of like, oh, nice. Well, let me go talk to those guys and ask them what they were doing. Like, well, where'd you guys train? Like, how much have you been practicing? Where he's just kind of like. I want to get the knowledge.
Okay, so we've got these 4 characters, right? Sorry, but I just thought of the other way to cut this. You want to cut the cake 2 ways. This is a Jack Truby thing.
Yeah.
It's called the 4 character opposition thing. Yeah.
I remember you telling me about that. I like that.
Yeah, and it's just it's great that we got 4 characters here specifically because we only have to do this once. But it's like, it's also good because like the coach represents the whole group of parents. The enemy player represents the whole other town, and then you have like. You're the coach's son, but then also the new kid, and like the 2 sides of like people living in the main town, and like either wanting to be part of this or not wanting to be part of this. But we cut it one way where the coach and his son are all vengeance based. The new kid and the kid from the other town, basically just both people not from the main town, are like, no, it's just a game, and we want to take it seriously, but it for the game. The other way we can cut it, I think, is. Like, the difference between the enemy quarterback who's taking the game seriously and this new kid who's taking the game seriously is the new kid is doing it just for fun. It's like it's just a game to him, but that's still above being petty and going after each other. But to the enemy quarterback, it's like it is really about the scholarship and the career and everything. It's about football.
It's the long term.
And I think our main characters, like the dad, the coach character's that way too. That's what he has in common with the other team. The kid from the other team is they're both really about football. But then remember, I think that kind of fits in. I think his son.
The other
he should be the one that it goes to culinary school at the end. He and the new kid are both not super about football, so one of them is the one that goes away.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So he's gonna go follow his other, and his dad is obviously thanks new kid, and they're polar opposites.
The transformation, going from the most aggressive football player on the team to culinary chef.
He's gonna go to culinary school. And then and they the new kid also who is just playing football for fun. He loves football, but he's he just goes off and I don't know. Maybe he goes and does football or something. But I wanted him to not be super about football. So he could also go off into an art or something completely separate. Maybe he's no, I'm gonna go to business school at the end of it. If I'm gonna get a football scholarship, that's fine, but I'm not gonna go to the NFL. It's just not.
Yeah, I got.
He's I just like football.
It's just
characters.
Fun.
I just like football.
Yeah, I just like
I'm here because I like it.
I don't want to play in the NFL. I want to watch the NFL. I want to come to the Super Bowl.
But yeah,
I don't want to play in the Super. You know how stressful and intense that is?
I think he should end up in his post-credits scene, where he ends up is he's at a desk job, so the most, but that's what he wanted. His character represents not, you don't have to buy completely into. If you're into this sport, it doesn't have to be, I'm going to the NFL. He's no, I'm planning on just, being a family man. He's just, we show him, later on, he's just got a wife and kids, and he's just doing, normal stuff. He's grocery shopping, and his freeze frame is him getting something off the top shelf, so he's reaching up, and then he's and then it...
That's good.
But, he's not super into football that way, either.
I don't know. I
He's
do
a
still
man or something. I
I
don't know.
do
Or
still
something.
like the idea of him just being yeah, I'm gonna get a desk job. I'm not gonna go into the NFL. I'm pretty much done with this.
He's even
then the freeze frame comes in and it's ended up winning the next NFL Super Bowl, and he's
oh, you know what?
I didn't want to do this.
No, you're right. Yeah, we don't have to make him not be a football player for him to still represent what he was representing. Yeah, he can still be I either will or won't. I would love to. There's I don't know. I don't plan on being in the NFL, but we definitely should have him just end up in it. It just happened out great for him.
That juxtaposition of him being oh, finally, all right, I'm done, I'm out.
And also remember, because he brought that energy in the beginning, that's what gets them their first tie, right? So it makes sense that would also carry him, the confidence and the just being okay with it. He's I don't care if I win or lose. That could just carry him up to the top. So, that's a fun. Yeah, he ends up in the NFL. I think. He's the only one who does.
He just so happens to end up in the NFL and winning the Super Bowl just cause.
And then and then the coach, the dad character, the coach is the last epilogue scene, post-credits scene. It's right after the new kid playing in the NFL. You see him. He's in the stands in the front row, cheering him on. And it's aw, you know what I mean? He's just
I know that.
He's that's my boy.
He beat my son. Back in the day.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he ends up in the NFL for his epilogue. That's really good.
That's funny. That's funny.
And then the coach is there doing that in the stands. Even though I wanted these two to end up being polar opposite characters, I think that's pretty funny.
It just
that
ends
wraps
up
up.
being
It's just really nice.
It's just a funny ending.
Culinary school. What do we have for the enemy quarterback? What's his thing?
Maybe he's the guy who's just done with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
feel like we didn't have so much in the Oh, you know what? I think he should become a coach, at his school, and he's
now he's broken the cycle too.
Yeah, and he's broken the he's making sure that it's all.
Yeah.
He's maintaining the peace in the home front. You know what I mean? He's he's keeping this vengeance thing out of it, and now instead of the old coach preaching to, maybe he's even the coach in the town that the movie took place in instead of his own one, because you know, you just get a job where you get a job. He just became coach there just because we could have him like in the same exact room where all the speeches were being given, and he's like, oh wait, you know what? That's awesome because he's like, remember guys, this is like just a game and we're all out here to have fun. I'm from that town, and then everyone's like, yeah, we know, and it's like. He's like, now he's working for what would have been like his mortal enemy. I do like the idea of him just replacing the old coach.
Yeah.
Like as they get older, he should become the coach at the hometown.
Just because that's a good way for him to instill
local
that
USA
mentality upon the rest of the team.
Yeah. That's a good one for him. All right, cool, man. I feel like we did more than we usually do, like in terms of characters. I think it was a good. Once you said the freeze frame thing, and it made me think of like the post credits, like this person ended up doing, like just writing that on the screen next to the clip. I think that's what made this one for me. I think it was really funny to have. So
can we get a play-by-play from the town before our final word?
We start. We open up on a field. It's slightly the picture is slightly desaturated, faded. Is that desaturated? Yes. I'm just gonna speak with confidence.
That's desaturated.
We open on a desaturated wide shot of a field. One team in light-colored jerseys, one team in dark-colored jerseys, facing off. On the screen, 1985, the year. The play starts. The play's about to start. The players in the white jerseys all eyeball each other, all certain of victory, certain of their part in the play. As soon as the ball starts moving, one of our characters collapses. His ligaments give out. He gets trampled by the other team. He's done.
It's fucked up, man. It's serious.
I feel like somehow we gotta also introduce the fact that. Sorry, I'm getting out of the narration thing, but like there'd have to be like, talking. Yeah, okay. Right before the ball is hiked, they're talking shit to the other team. Like, we're gonna. He's like, I hope you guys like cleaning up eggs and toilet paper. They're like, because you're not gonna win this year either. You know what I mean? Like, that's what that's about. And then that we don't have to actually show that happening, but we still got it. We have one player gets injured. The game it's a tragedy. Everyone's like sad. Everyone's like, oh man, he's injured. Get him off get the stretcher. Yeah. They end up losing.
Yeah. It's like
and I guess
that's bad.
I guess it's in really poor taste, but it's been going on for years, all this trashing and egging, so even following the injury of this player, the enemy team, that's something we kind of didn't really think about before. It's like really in poor taste that they're going to injure him and then trash the town. But yeah, every year now, this town keeps getting ravaged every game day.
That's got to be one of those connections that like the kids make, and they're like, wait a minute, this is terrible.
Yeah, this whole thing is like, let's just be done with it.
Why they didn't tell us that part about why we've been doing this? Like,
yeah, and it's like, but they were angry enough to trash our town even after one of us got injured. Like, we shouldn't have been doing that in the first place then.
Yeah, like
ever to them.
I understand their frustration.
So that's your prologue. We get to, like, we're building up to game one is like the new kid comes to town, right? Or probably we see some of like the coach, right? It's like 20 years later, and we see him standing there all grumpy and old, and he's saying orders at the practice, and then it's like, who's this? And it's like the new kid has arrived, and he's showing up, and he's like, I just don't like this kid. And the kid's like, he's too happy, right? And he's like having too much fun. He's like, he's not taking this. Everyone else is here like a veteran. Like they all know what's at stake here is the loser's gonna get their town egged. And windows broken and property damage galore. So we need to take this super seriously. And this kid's just prancing around, having too much fun out there, treating it like a game. But they do end up tying, and somehow that is related to his nonchalant behavior. This new kid, not rushing through. He maybe takes a second to reconsider the play they're about to run because he's like the only one to. Yeah, that's what it is. They're all set on this like real aggressive play, and this kid is like. He's like the quarterback. The new kid is the quarterback, I think, because he's the only one. The coach is like, what are you doing? Like, you know the play.
Run the play.
My son also is wide open. Like it's him, maybe.
Yeah, it's like throw it to the wide receiver.
Yeah, he's ready, and he's like
left wide.
But the quarterback, he's like takes a second because he's not super like adrenaline pumped into this. He notices like what the enemy team is doing and like why their plan has to change, and he throws it to someone else, and they end up getting They end up making it to the end zone where they probably if he threw it like according to plan, that guy definitely was just gonna get tackled. And, like no one saw it. No one saw it though because they were all too heated. He was the only one to notice it. So they end up getting. That's how they get their first tie. And now all the parents are at each other's throats at this point because they're not even really sure who's supposed to trash whose town. Like they don't tie. This doesn't happen. It's always just a victory for the other guys. And it's like the stakes are super high. We've got the other team practicing incredibly hard because they can't afford to lose. We've got our team kind of getting overconfident. The coach like kind of pushing them real hard, but they're not really taking it because they're like, we tied. Like we're doing good. We like this new kid, which probably pisses off the coach even more. That's also a really great dynamic. It looks like they like the new kid now.
Like they all like the new kid.
And he's like, no, he's not taking it seriously enough. And they get to game 2 and they do lose because they're overconfident. The coach is like, told you so. They're going into it.
Emotional slope and like slide.
And they get just pummeled and trampled by the other team. And the other team comes and trashes their town again. Except the quarterback, we see him actively. Like, he's just like on the bus. Like he's like waiting to go home. Like he's just like not going to take part of that. And then somehow we get to game 3. I don't know really what happens between game 2 and game 3, but I guess what would happen is
training montage.
Yeah, they were training and they would be like, we have to take this more seriously than that. And even like the new kid now has seen firsthand what's gonna like what the consequences of defeat are, because he's seen it get trashed. So now they're all kind of more united.
Yeah, they're all on the same page now.
Even with the coach and the son and him.
Yeah.
And they go into game 3 way different, and they totally. But also, they take lessons from each other. Like the new kid's like, we can't just run headfirst into everything. Like sometimes
you do have to take some
assess
planning.
the situation. Yeah. And so like with everybody taking advice from each other, they end up winning game 3. And the coach is like, let's go over there and trash everything now. And the parents are like, let's go over there and let's do it. Let's give them a taste of their own medicine. And then they look back over, and the kids are just hanging out with each other. We see like the enemy quarterback just like at the concession stand with our players from our team. And they're just kind of like hanging out. And then the parents are like, all right, what are we doing? And they stop doing it.
What's going on here?
And then, what we'll do is the 2 coaches will chest bump. That will be and all the parents will be watching. That will be the first freeze frame. The 2 coaches will chest bump. It won't be all the players behind them. It will be all the parents. And it's like this is about the culmination of their war.
Yeah.
And they freeze frame with a chest bump.
Fight too.
We get into our credits of. I didn't talk about this. The coach's son wants to be a chef.
That whole time.
Just also that's what he wants to do.
So he goes that in there.
Yeah, he realizes that there's more to life than football, and he goes to culinary school because that's what's really important to him. And maybe like the coach, like his dad, like supports him doing it too as part of it. We see the enemy quarterback has become the coach of the local team, kind of cementing the end of the feud. Like now, someone from the other town is actually the coach of this team, and it's everyone is way more into it. Just like the new generation of kids, basically, we see him, just talking to them, and they're like way into it as like a game, and that's like his whole point. Then he freeze frames. These all freeze frame again. Yeah. The new kid is working in the NFL, like playing in I said working. He's playing in the NFL. I guess he is. But
he's working a night shift.
He's employed by the NFL, but yeah, he's doing a night shift at the NFL.
Yeah, turns out tonight I'm playing in the Super Bowl. I'm a quarterback.
Well, he's
I guess.
doing the night Super Bowl, yeah. And then in the stands we see the coach there cheering him on, even though he was like didn't like him the whole movie. So There's some catharsis for you also.
That's good. That's good.
I think we've got a full clip
Yeah,
here.
that's a full story. And can you believe that the Super Bowl's only gonna be either next week or the week of this recording,
Wow.
or the week of this being out to the world, being published? That's crazy. Who would have guessed that this team and that team are in the Super Bowl? I know they're about to. I mean, who is it? The Eagles. They're doing it. Shout out to them.
And then,
What if they win the Super Bowl?
And then there's probably like one more team.
Yeah, the other team. Yeah, the Chiefs and the Eagles. Who would have guessed?
The Chiefs and the Eagles.
The Chiefs and the Eagles, man. That's what people are saying. So we'll find out who wins that. Probably like last week if you're listening to this on release day.
But this movie is unrelated.
Yeah, no, it's just also kind of Super Bowl football kind of.
Nope. It's not the Super Bowl.
No.
That's probably
Yeah,
we don't want.
This isn't Super Bowl related in that sense.
We don't want the NFL to get any money from
It's
this
just
movie.
the timeline is related.
In fact,
on release.
look up
Ours
real
game
quick.
is
What's
actually gonna be the
what's the league under the NFL? Let's make
is
the
gonna be the Ultra
he ends up
Mega
in-
Bowl.
He ends up in that at the end of the movie.
I think that's the NCAA. No, that's for basketball.
No, I'm only joking. Of course, we definitely will mention the NFL in this movie. They are,
Can they be in the AFL?
they are the benchmark of football, I guess.
I think that's what it is. AFL. That's
Yeah, there you go. We'll make it to AFL at the end.
Are there any more AFL teams? I don't think that. Oh yeah, until 1970 when it
Well, they
merged
started
with
back.
the NFL. Okay.
No, they get it back now, and that's part of the credits in this.
they got the A back.
New kid goes on to because he goes on
to reunite the AFL.
Yeah, what's it called when you like undo a merger? Like, he goes on
He just creates the word. Jesus, when you undo a merger.
All right. Well, I mean, that's the whole movie. We got all our freeze frames and everything in
Yeah.
order. Do you want to do the final word?
I think it's your final word.
It's my final word.
Yeah, I think it's your time.
Oh wait, we should title our movie also.
Well, that's what. That's what I'm trying to come up with. What do you?
Yeah.
What do you
You're supposed to come up with the title since I did the recap.
Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking something Super Bowl related, cause that's gonna be pretty topical for someone.
Just like
searching
whatever
it
the
up.
name of like the local, like what game 3 is, like the big game.
Yeah, like local Super Bowl. Nah, that's not it. That's not it. Super Bowl or bust.
It should be like it's got to be like varsity clash. Like it's two high schools varsity teams. You know, like to really bring
Varsity
the like.
Clash.
No,
I mean,
it
that's
should
close.
even honestly should even be like JV. No, I
Pee-wee
think varsity's
football.
good. Let's keep it simple and make it. It's called the Varsity Bowl, and it's this region's like Super Bowl basically. It's just the local version of it.
Can we call it Pee-wee football?
Yeah, no, definitely not.
It's like football, but with a P.
But you put the ball in the foot of it.
Or you just say football.
Football.
Yeah. Pee-wee version though. That's where the kids are like in middle school or something.
All right, so we don't always come up with a title, but I'm gonna go ahead and start the final word. I think. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
All right, let's
Varsity
start
Bowl.
with Let me look around the room.
Yeah, the room's giving you inspiration. This is our studio room, and definitely not.
Didgeridoo. I don't know how you like us.
Say it
It's
again?
tough to start a
Can
sentence.
you say it
now.
again?
Yeah, didgeridoo
Who
went
to
the
zoo?
by
Noon.
on
Duh. D-A.
spoon.
Fume.
The
Just say it again. Emb. Didgeridoo who went to the zoo.
By noon, on the spoon. Damn.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Oh man.
All right.
Well,
This has
we're
been
out.
Content Factory.
Content Factory.
The show where it gets made.
It has
Cut the
been made.
tapes.
Cut the tapes. Cut the tapes, man. Oh, I cut the wrong tape. I cut the wrong tape. I cut the wrong tape.
Tab when you hit
I cut the wrong tape, dude.